Black Goose TV family, what's good with it? Salute to y'all. I have an update when it comes to the Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez, and Oscar De La Hoya drama. We finally get to hear from Ryan Garcia himself after hearing originally from Oscar De La Hoya and then Canelo's response. Ryan has something to say in response to the response from Canelo Alvarez. He says, hey, Canelo, you must have a misconception when it comes to my particular training camp, when it came to me working with Eddy Reynoso, and you might be confusing your time with him with my time. He basically said, I started thinking of a camp switch as far back as February of 2020. He even went as far to say that the first camp that I had with Eddy Reynoso went smoothly. It went great. It went exactly how expected. But apparently every camp from there on out went the exact opposite, with one of the camps, Eddy Reynoso showing up as late as 2 weeks left of the training camp to come and help Ryan Garcia prepare for his fight. So Ryan Garcia is claiming that even though Canelo is saying, hey, as long as you're disciplined, you're in the gym, Eddy Reynoso is going to help out everyone. Ask this person, ask that one. Ryan Garcia is saying essentially that's lies. That is not true. Or at least in his own case, that is not what happened. The first training camp that he had with Eddy Reynoso went seamlessly flawless. It was beautiful. He was excited. But apparently every training camp after that went a little more worse than he expected it to go, or at least it didn't meet his expectations. Or one of them even happened to include Eddy Reynoso not being there for majority of the camp and only being there for the last 2 weeks. Ryan Garcia even went as far as to say, hey, Canelo, you also said ask Frank Sanchez, ask Andy Ruiz, ask Oscar Valdez. And he said, well, what about the fact that Eddy Reynoso, he wasn't even there for the entirety of a Frank Sanchez training camp, and he only showed up day of to corner him? He said, what about that, Canelo? He even went as far to say, what about Virgil Ortiz Jr.? Virgil Ortiz Jr. left for a new camp or went back to L.A. for the same exact reason Ryan Garcia did, or, as he put it, the same exact reason that he himself did. He said Virgil Ortiz also complained of when he came over, he was expecting a lot more attention, or at least what he was told, and apparently it was the exact opposite. Eddy Reynoso wasn't in the gym like that, and really he was fighting to find sparring partners and to get time with Eddy Reynoso. So Ryan Garcia also said, what about that, Canelo? He even went as far as saying, even with that being the case, Canelo, even with me not being able to get the amount of time that Eddy Reynoso said he was going to give to me, even with him showing 2 weeks before the actual camp finished, even with all these different things happening that I didn't expect, and him, in Ryan Garcia's opinion, Eddy Reynoso doing the exact opposite of what he was supposed to do. He said, even with all that being the case, he said, I was fine with all of that. I was going to push through it. I was going to make it work. But he said, the real reason why he is leaving, he knows the real reason. Eddy Reynoso knows the real reason. Oscar knows. And he said specifically, Canelo, you know the real reason why I'm leaving. We both do. But I'm not going to put it out there. I'm going to keep it a secret. I'm not going to put it in the public. Interesting claims, to say the least. I wonder what that very thing is that both him and Canelo know is the real reason why Ryan Garcia is leaving. And it's really not based around the fact that, okay, Eddy Reynoso doesn't have time for me, so Ryan Garcia claims. All right. So that's a little bit more information when it comes to this drama. When I'm looking around the internet, when I'm looking at how the boxing fans is feeling, everybody loves Canelo. Everybody loves Team Eddy Reynoso. I see a lot of people on his side, in his corner, on his, champion what they're saying. Basically, Ryan Garcia has made a lot of enemies, okay? It is what it is. He didn't have the greatest 2021. He talked a lot, but didn't back it up with a lot of fighting. So obviously that's one of the, biggest things boxing fans hate. But at the same time, when it comes to this, I want you guys to look at it unbiased. I want you guys to hear both sides. We finally heard Ryan Garcia's side. Canelo's claiming that, hey, if you're not disciplined, if you're not in the gym like that, Eddy Reynoso's not going to find the time for you. Ryan Garcia is claiming that, hey, I was in the gym, I was training, but the more I was there, the longer I was there, the less I saw of Eddy Reynoso. And not only the less I saw of Eddy Reynoso, but also there was something else going on within that training camp that he wasn't particularly happy with, what ultimately made him want to go ahead and move. So I want to hear guys guys' opinion on it. How do you feel about Ryan Garcia's claims that Eddy Reynoso really wasn't there for him to train him entirely for his fights after his first fight? Also, one of the claims that he didn't show up until 2 weeks before the fight was actually supposed to take place. Also claims that from one of Frank Sanchez's training camps, he wasn't there the entirety of the camp. He just showed up for the corner. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you feel like Ryan Garcia is telling the truth, or he's just making excuses? Do you guys still believe Canelo? And then also, how do you feel about Ryan Garcia making a claim that even though all this was a big deal and did help in his decision to wanting to move, the real reason behind him moving is something that only him and Canelo knows, and he's not going to put it out there? What do you guys speculate that to be? And should we speculate? Should we give this any smoke? Should we give this any attention? Or do you think it's just a lot of drama surrounded by someone, or the boxing community views as someone who likes to create a lot of drama in Ryan Garcia? Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Hit the comment section, hit that like button, show your boys some love. Let's keep rocking this thing. Let's keep making Fluence Boxing, Black Goose TV, the biggest boxing channel this motherfucking year. Salute, people. Enjoy your day, and hopefully work ain't killing you. I'm out.